From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Professional-grade mowers, durable sidekick utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $300.
Tractors, trailers, rentals.
You do it all, we do it local.
Happy holidays from Weather NorCal and our sponsors. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger. So glad you could join me here on this Monday, December 9th. Let's get you right to it before we start talking about the changes. You may have been hearing about rain making its way into the picture here and some low elevation snow as well. We're going to talk about that in more detail here in just a bit, but let's get you out the door this morning. For those of you that are in a hurry and just want a quick forecast for the day, well, let's get you to it. Out the door this morning, sunny skies here for most of us. There's going to be some patchy fog for some of those mountain and inland valleys. Otherwise, a cold start, especially in the higher elevations, even for the coast. Looks like somewhere in the upper 30s to low 40s here for the valley. We have a parade of storms, if you will, that are heading our way. Now, none of these are terribly impressive, but they will have an impact on our weather in some shape or form, in the form of showers, maybe some snow in the higher elevations, and the winds may be picking up a little bit as well with some of them as they begin to pass on through. Now, speaking of the winds, you may notice out there this morning it's a little breezy, and I think we'll still be looking at breezy conditions here through a good portion of the day today. 10 to 20 miles per hour for the valley, maybe some higher gusts in the foothills east of the valley, but overall not as bad for the mountains or even the coast. And in fact, as we take you into your Tuesday, the winds will die down even more. We'll get into that a little bit later, but today, temperatures around 60, give or take, for the valley. In fact, I'm expecting mainly sunny skies. Still a little cool for some of those higher elevations, but still plenty of sunshine here, making for an absolutely gorgeous day. So you'll notice I've got the showers in there for Wednesday. Stay tuned for the timing of that, because most likely, most of the measurable precipitation will be here by Wednesday night into Thursday. So again, I think overall it's going to be mainly dry from Monday through Wednesday, but by late in the day Wednesday, we may start to see some showers. The coast, inland, and for Trinity County, kind of the same story, although the showers may kick in a little bit sooner here for the coast and those inland areas and even Trinity County. Off and on showers here taking you through next week. We'll talk about the timing and the intensity. This is all going to change here, the timing and the intensity. The snow levels, I'm going to be able to adjust a little bit more detail as well. I've just kind of broad brushed 3,500 feet, for example, for Mount Shasta, 4,500 feet for Alturas and Susanville. But again, we've got chances for rain and snow, and that's going to impact your mountain travel. I do think that's going to happen, especially late this week into the weekend. But again, we'll get into that deeper dive forecast. So that was Kruger's Quickcast. Have a great day if that's all you needed. Otherwise, hey, stick around. We're going to be talking about all the forecast details here with a dry and mild start to the week here first and foremost. I do expect cooler and more an unsettled weather pattern by the middle to latter part of this week. Snow levels, I think, will average between 3,000 and 4,500 feet, depending on your location. Trinity County, for example, maybe as low as 3,000 feet. Southern Cascades, Northern Sierra, probably somewhere around 4,500 feet. But I do expect mountain travel will be impacted, especially by, say, Thursday, Friday, and even through the weekend. All right, so again, the winds, a little gusty at times, I think, for the valley, especially this morning. And then by tomorrow, overall, the winds are expected to die down. They won't be much of a factor. But with that approaching system coming in on Wednesday, you see how the winds are picking up, especially to the west here for the coast. We've got some winds picking up again for central Siskiyou County for Wednesday. But the valley, eastern mountains, not quite as bad with those winds. Now, again, you can see the parade of storms off to our west. They're all heading our way. You got this one for Wednesday, this one for Thursday, this one for Friday. It's just going to be one after another. And there's more coming in behind that. Now, the thing is, when I look at these storms and we look at the long range, there's nothing terribly impressive. Yes, there will be times when we get to see some moderate to even heavy rainfall for some of us, but these are not going to be the most impressive of storms that we've ever seen. But it's wet weather that I think is going to make a lot of people happy, wet weather that we wanted. Okay, so let's take a look at Futurecast and see what kind of impact we've got with these storms as they approach. Number one, today and tomorrow, you're looking at dry conditions with plenty of sunshine. But by Wednesday morning, we're beginning to see signs of that change. Most likely, this will just be in the form of drizzle, and that will be really the extent of it. By noon, you see that first push, it's not that impressive, but still some light showers along the coast. This is all dry. The thing is, it's a very dry atmosphere right now, so this is most likely going to evaporate before it reaches the ground. But look off behind me here. We've got this part of the storm that's approaching. So this is the main storm system, but we're beginning to see some of that heavier rainfall for the coast, western Siskiyou County, Trinity County, and maybe some light showers developing by late afternoon, early evening here for the valley and even off to the east. But again, I think the bulk of that rain is going to be Wednesday night into Thursday, really for everyone. So in fact, when you look at the rainfall totals through 5 p.m., you see how we're just seeing some light accumulating rainfall here through 5 p.m. Wednesday. But this is as far as this model goes. But if we take into Wednesday night, into the Thursday, we're not only seeing these totals go up, but we're beginning to see totals begin to pick up here for the valley and everyone else. All right, so let's take a look at the big picture. So you've got the parade of storms I was talking about. There's the first one, the second one, and the third one. As I mentioned, more coming in behind that. We still have this ridge of high pressure in place, and that's the reason why we're still seeing those sunny skies. But this all is going to be pushing through and just breaking away at that ridge, and that's going to allow these storms to push through. Now, again, I use the word storm. That doesn't mean it's going to be terribly impressive or something we have to really be concerned about. But we're seeing some snow here, and I think we're going to see some impactful snow as well. I'd say down to 3,000 feet, locally lower at times for places like Trinity County, maybe around 3,000 feet. So places like Mount Shasta City, places like El Turris. But I think a lot of places in Trinity County, say for example, Weaverville, Hayfork, at this point, we'll see. We'll have to kind of get a little bit closer in time here before we can really start pinpointing that out. But I'm not terribly concerned about Weaverville, Hayfork. But Buckhorn, Summit, Oregon Mountain could see some chain requirements there at times. And then, of course, places like Bernie, Shingletown, sure, you might see some snow out of this as well as Chester. Okay, then we see a bit of a break, and then we see the next system coming in on Saturday. Same situation. Snow levels are something we'll be kind of tweaking, but when we look at the 7-day forecast, you'll kind of get a general idea. Then we see another break, and then maybe on Sunday into Monday, another system coming in. And you can see more coming in behind that for early next week as well. This could be here by next Tuesday or next Wednesday, and then more coming in behind that. So we're going into a more typical wet weather pattern moving in, starting mid to latter part of this week, and then it just continues off and on going well into next week, it looks like. Now these rainfall totals, just to give you an idea, do not take them to be literal. This is the long range forecast model. It's usually not going to be spot on, but you get the idea. We're seeing some rain for the valley. We're not seeing as much. We're going to see measurable rainfall to the east. Don't worry about that. I don't think it's doing a very good job here. But you can see where's most of the rain coming in? Yes, up to the north and west, your typical spot here where we're seeing the bulk of that rain. So yeah, these numbers will be adjusted as we get closer to the time frame, but again, just wanted to give you a general idea. Wetter than normal conditions now as we look at the long range, so that's good to see, but unfortunately, as you look at it, lighter shades of green indicating a slimmer chance, or it's a lower chance of seeing above normal rainfall. But bottom line, this is a good sign because it's just basically saying, hey, we're going to get ourselves into a wetter pattern moving in. It may not be super impressive with rainfall totals, but it will be wet weather nonetheless, and we'll certainly take it. Let's take a look at those wave highs for today, and you can see they actually kind of start to back off a little bit on Tuesday, and then they'll probably begin to kind of increase again going into Wednesday with that approaching storm system. Here's a marine forecast for your Monday. North winds at 5 to 10 knots, waves from the north at 5 feet at 7 seconds, and from the west at 9 feet at about 13 seconds. And there you can see your high tide, your low tide, and there is that small correct advisory here, at least through midday, if not maybe into the afternoon hours. All right, here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Again, chances for showers kicking in probably sometime mid to late day on Wednesday, and then off and on showers through Sunday. Again, the timing, the intensity of these storms as they push through are something we'll be really fine-tuning as we get closer to the end of next week, or end of this week, that is. There's your North Coast neighborhood forecast. Down to the south here, Garberville, about 62 degrees today, 59 degrees in Shelter Cove. Take you up north, 60 out in Gas Key, about 61 degrees for Smith River. Orleans, 54, and 56 degrees in Willow Creek. Let's take you out to Siskiyou County, where temperature is struggling to get out of the 30s, if at all, for places like Scott Valley, off to the north as well. Happy Camp, about 46, though. Mount Shasta City, about 42, and Tennant, about 39 degrees. Use your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Also, Most of us struggling to get out of the 30s, although places like El Turris and Aden probably somewhere in the low to mid 40s. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 30s, 40s, 50s. This is the neighborhood that should probably have maybe a couple of other neighborhoods breaking down, because we've got several big spread here from the 30s to even upwards of 50. 57 degrees for Paradise, 36 for Janesville, 38 degrees for Susanville, and 45 degrees for Fall River Mills. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamith Painting. You know, your temperatures are going to be somewhere in the 60-degree range here, give or take here for today, with plenty of sunshine this afternoon. 61 degrees for Reading, 57 degrees for Whiskeytown, 56 in Lakehead, and there you can see Red Bluff about 61 degrees. So let's take a look at that 7-day outlook. And yeah, this is good to see, right? We're finally starting to see more of a wet weather pattern now. Don't let that fool you. We're not going to be looking at heavy rainfall. It's not going to be the most impressive amounts of rain, but it is wet weather. And it's a wet weather pattern that is not only going to start as early as Wednesday, but I do think most of the measurable rainfall will be here by Wednesday night, Thursday. We're still going to be looking at off and on chances for showers for the weekend, and most likely even going well into next week. That's your morning update. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'll see you again at noon.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.